I recently was working with a client and she was talking about a difficult situation that was coming her way, and she was very carefully constructing a wall to create a barrier between herself and this situation and the people involved in that situation. And I looked at her and I said, "What would happen if instead of barriers, you establish boundaries?" She sat back and she thought about it a little bit and she said, "Well, what's the difference?" And I said, "Well, barriers mean you're defending against someone and something. When you put up a wall, you're saying, 'Stay out. This is my space. You stay out. You don't get to come in here. I have the right to keep you out.'" Well, that's true, and there may be some people where that's appropriate. Don't get me wrong. However, sometimes we put up barriers when we simply could establish boundaries that say, "Yeah, that's not okay. We're not going to do that this way." Or, "I'm not going to participate in that because it doesn't resonate with me." Or, "I don't need you to talk to me in that tone of voice. If you'd like to talk to me as if I'm an adult, perhaps we can continue this conversation." Boundaries hold space and they contain your energy without creating a situation where you have to defend against the enemy, right? I live in Europe, and one of the things I love to go and see in Europe are walled cities because they're fascinating, right? They put these walls around the geographical city, and then they build all these houses inside, and they have these community things for, caring for the horses or threshing grain or whatever. And they're fascinating. But they were established to defend against the other, right? So we don't build walled cities now, for the most part. I mean, I know there are walls going up in certain parts of the world, but that doesn't mean I need to be part of that, right? And instead, what we do is we put doors on our houses and we put locks on our doors and we decide what we want to involve ourselves in and what we do not. So I want to offer this idea to those people who defend against through barriers. By definition, if you are defending against other, you automatically need an enemy. Because if you don't have an enemy, there's nothing to defend against. So if you think in terms of psychic protection, if you think in terms of building barriers to keep other people out, including their energy, right? Because I get asked about psychic protection all the time. Rather, consider the idea of boundaries, saying, "No, you can't come in my house," or "No, I'm not available for that," or "No, I don't want to be spoken to that way, so I'm going to end this conversation." Those are boundaries. They are not barriers that say, "I refuse to engage with you forever. Stay away. Do not move." Those are barriers. So understand that if you learn to contain your energy and apply boundaries to your life, then you get to move freely and operate freely without needing to defend against the other.